Our faith. Are you at the end of yourself? What is the word faith mean anyway? Faith is simply mean believed. The Bible describes it so perfectly, and it said, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. Without faith, we can do nothing. With it, all things are possible. And did you know that sometimes it took our faith to be healed? Just like this woman in the Bible, she was suffering from bleeding for 12 years. You know, from a woman's point of view, just having your monthly thing once a month is already hard enough, is already long enough, is already painful enough for some, is already annoying enough for others, and is already frustrated for many. And here is this Bible history woman was suffering to bleeding for 12 long years. Can you imagine her pains, her agony, her suffering, her guilt, her shame, her rejection, her disappointment, and her frustration, and you name it. And on top of this, she had spent all of her money and wealth to pay to the doctors to help her to get better, to heal her, and to cure her. But in the end, the doctors couldn't do anything for her. The doctor couldn't cure her, and she was at the end of herself. And so, as soon as she about to lose all hope, then Jesus came. Then Jesus came. And the news about Jesus spread throughout the land, and he is here and he is now in their hometown. Doing miraculous signs and wonders, the blind received sight, the cripple walks again, and the dead brought back to life. And so the news about Jesus had reached the woman's ear that had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. And there she had in mind, she had planted in her heart and had faith in God and believed in her heart that Jesus can heal her. And here is her story. A large crowd followed it and pressed around him, Jesus, and a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet, instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak, because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately, her bleeding stopped. She felt in her body that she was free from her suffering. At once, Jesus realized that power has gone out from him. He turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" Listen to this carefully. "Someone touched me. I know that power has gone out from me." Then the woman, seeing that she couldn't go unnoticed, came trembling and fell at his feet. In the presence of all the people, she told why she had touched him and how she had been instantly healed. Then he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be free from your suffering." And so, at the end of herself, she had decided to give herself one last chance and dare to reach out her hand and touch the king's robe, hoping in her heart that His Majesty would have mercy on her and granted her request. And what is her request? Just to be healed. And so he did. His Majesty, King Jesus, turned around and had mercy on her and loved her and granted her life and granted her hope, granted her peace, granted her joy, and granted her healing. And so, what do you want God to do for you today? What do you want His Majesty to do for you today? Are you there to touch God? Are you there to touch His Majesty? And yes, it's true, sometimes it took our faith to be healed, just like this woman. And so, what do you believe in God for today? Receive it. In Jesus' name, be healed.